College of Registered Psychotherapists of Ontario in Canada, right? Yeah. And he's also a certified spiritual care practitioner with the Canadian Association for Spiritual Care and an ordained minister. That's beautiful. So Joel is a full-time psycho-spiritual care practitioner at Unity Health St. Michael's Hospital, where he provides care to patients, their families, and staff of the general internal medicine, geriatric stroke, and neurology. Additionally, he maintains a private psychotherapy practice specializing in anxiety, depression, grief, and couple and family-related issues. He's also the senior minister of the New Horizons Filipino Christian Fellowship of Toronto, and he is also a nurse. So Joel.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity that I'm here again for the second time. I made a research presentation yesterday carrying the banner of Unity Health Toronto. So I was sent and sponsored by Unity Health Toronto, which is one of the major healthcare systems in Canada. So one thing is I'm going to present Code Lavender. Code Lavender, this is part of, I will tell you about this, and this is related with this, okay? So this is one of our spiritual care interventions in Canada. So, I'll be giving you a tip sheet later, so that you may be able to use this one in your practice, and as you carry on with your nursing work or probably your ministry, because this is related with psychological first aid. Okay, so before I'll move forward with the short, I would say, workshop, let's just get into something that is very important to us. First thing is we'll talk about nurse burnout. I think you have heard about this. Several of you have I've been hearing about self-care. Self-care, what else? Work-related challenges. So with this, nurse burnout. So what is nurse burnout or healthcare burnout, or like the issues that we're facing in terms of our work as healthcare professionals? So nurse burnout is a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion. This is due to long hours of work. We deal with high stress situation. We face constant pressure to provide optimal care for our patients. And burnout not only affects nurses personally, but also has far-reaching consequences for the healthcare system as a whole. So it affects that. So part of my work as a certified spiritual care practitioner is to help on this aspect. So we were able to create an intervention, which is the Code Lavender. So Code Lavender started in Cleveland Clinic, so I'm going to share to you the Code Lavender according to Unity Health. So I am one of the proponent of the Code Lavender there, and let's go through. So that's why I'm wearing the purple shirt, or the lavender, okay? Moving forward, so the consequences of nurse burnout. So what are the consequences? More errors in our work, okay? And it exhibit low job satisfaction and engagement level. So remember, it's like as we work on with over there at Unity Healthcare Toronto, we have assessors who would check the quality of our work every time. It's I would say a high-tiered healthcare system. Probably several of you are familiar with that. Okay. So in relation with that, let's define the word soul care according to this presentation, okay? So burnout, then soul care, which is part of our self-care, which is part of our care to one another as healthcare professionals. So soul care is an umbrella term, okay? For a cluster of interrelated ministries, including pastoral care, spiritual care, chaplaincy, pastoral counseling, spiritual direction, or pastoral supervision. So pastoral care is an old term, and chaplaincy is related with that. Now, moving forward in a so-called multicultural, postmodern society, The term now is a spiritual care, which is related to the terminology of World Health Organization. So in a way, is we reach out to people to promote spiritual health. So, so what is spirituality then? This is based from the Canadian Association of Spiritual Care. So spirituality is what gives meaning and purpose in life as one relates to their community and circumstances resulting in wellness. So whoever be the patient that you are working with, or even each and every one of us as healthcare professionals, we have our spirituality, okay? And it comes in many ways. So generally speaking, okay, so this I am presenting a generalist point of view. What brings meaning and purpose to you? And we as Christian nurses, what brings the meaning and purpose to us? Number one thing is our relationship with our Lord Jesus Christ. That is the grounding of our faith that motivates us to serve God through our nursing career or midwife career, or as you carry on as nurses, there are nurses or psychotherapists that I've worked with, or educators, specialists who are in the unit or within the system. So spirituality is, in short, what is my meaning and purpose, and how is that expressed in daily life? How does it transcend to my significant relationship? Expression of spirituality, according to Canadian Association of Spiritual Care, and the standards of spiritual and religious care for healthcare services in Canada. So religion is the expression of spirituality through traditions, rites, and practices, usually within the context of an organized religion. So that is one facet of spirituality in the general context. So religion. So faith is important. As Christians, that is number one for us. Okay? Our grounding, just like what I said. Second, other people. Their spirituality focuses on family, relationships, community. Others, role and sense of duty. So when you talk to someone who is experiencing loss of autonomy or loss of function, say for example, stroke patient. So what happens? Loss of function, aphasia. They would want to speak, but they cannot express it. So they will undergo post-stroke depression, which has a spiritual care effect. Because why? What is my meaning and purpose? Because I started losing my function. I'm not able to communicate with. So what is the resulting force? They're what? They're angry. So that's why they're not able to work. They're not able to work well, in terms of the bedside care. So that is the spiritual care component. Part of our spiritual diagnosis is to see that and to help them go through their grief. Okay? Now, role and sense of duty. They said, I cannot work anymore. I cannot provide for my family. What is my role? I am a burden to my family. So that is a spiritual care issue. So that comes in the professional spiritual care practitioner to provide supportive counseling to them, that they may find themselves, find meaning and purpose, because it was shaken because of their illness. So to us nurses, these things happens as well when we are burned out. Spirituality is something that is, we have an issue with that. You're burned out. You keep on working and working and working without any, break. Or, like what I said, the code Lavender. Okay? So, work, creativity, these are expressions of spirituality. In short, anything that lifts your spirit is related to spirituality. Okay? On the general context, okay? So I'm just speaking on the general context. And coming from Toronto, when I teach our nurses as well as our doctors and our staff, very multicultural, culturally sensitive, I need to present it that way, okay? But of course, like what I said, the basis of us as Christian nurses is our faith, and that motivates us to carry out our calling as well as our training, okay? So moving forward, So what is the role of spiritual care in promoting nurses' well-being? This is based from the American Foundation for Good Life. Okay, so what is the role of spiritual care in promoting nurses' wellness? First, it provides sense of peace. We know that. We've been hearing that one over here. Sense of peace and tranquility amidst the chaos encountered in healthcare settings. So part of this is meditation or mindfulness exercises are very, very important. In the Christian context, how is mindfulness being practiced? Okay, remember, there are types of prayer as well. Contemplative prayer. I was like speaking about Lectio Divina. If you know Lectio Divina, that can be very, very helpful. There's another type, the labyrinthine prayer, especially like for silence. So mindfulness has been part of the Christian faith. You know? Meditation has been part of that. Our prayer, you know, the Bible verse that says, "Be still and know that I am God." That is related to mindfulness. And mindfulness, basing from researches, basing from the studies, it is good. It is what? An intervention of spiritual care, as well as in psychology and psychotherapy. Okay? Second, it fosters resiliency by providing nurses with a strong support system. So when you practice spirituality, resilience, you become resilient with a strong support system. That's why group discussion and debrief is very important. So we call our debrief for our staff at St. Michael's Hospital, which is part of Unity Health. It is a major academic and research hospital in Toronto. We call that code Lavender. So that's why I am wearing the purple shirt to, you know, whenever I go to the unit with a cart, we call that the code Lavender cart. In Clinton Clinic, they call it as the comfort cart. Okay, so what is in the cart? Later I will show the cart. Then later, so those are strategies on how we can carry out our practice. You know, that code Lavender. Okay. I hope you can do it in your hospitals, you know? Or if not, even in your churches, or those who are doing parish nursing. So, also when we participate in rituals like worship, that promotes solidarity. So what happens? We are affirmed. So two things that a person needs in life, okay, according to psychology: attention and affirmation. Okay? We need that. You know, God loves us so much, and that affirmation that we are children of God, that's called Imago Dei, the image of God in us. But when challenging situation comes, that Imago Dei is shaken. That's why we have to be reminded of that every time. So remember, in our parasympathetic nervous system, the Imago Dei, according to neuroplasticity and neurosciences, the Imago Dei, the image of God, that is the calming part of your brain, is found where? The prefrontal cortex. So when you pray, we kind of like utilize that one. But when crisis would come, the limbic system, okay, hijacks the prefrontal cortex. Okay? So when there's a trauma that happens to us, it stays in the nervous system. So it becomes what? A reflex. Okay? So as a psycho-spiritual therapist, I would explain that. Okay, I was about to put on the vagal theory, but anyways, this is a workshop, okay? Not an academic class or theory class. So that is a code Lavender. So what we're promoting here is the prefrontal cortex, okay? When we do debriefing, when we like prayer, worship, it's the prefrontal cortex, which is already part of us. Theologically speaking, as well as scientifically speaking, the Imago Dei is in us. The image of God in us. The image of God always brings peace. And to your patients, when they become offensive, that Imago Dei is tested. And you as nurses, and we as spiritual care practitioners, we affirm that. We help them find their Imago Dei. Not only find, but be reminded of the Imago Dei. Okay? So this is based from a certain study in terms of neuroplasticity. There's a book, it's entitled Befriending Your Inner Child, the Incorporation of Faith. And they call it IFS, Internal Family System, that speaks about that, which is a wonderful book. Probably later on if you wanted to. Okay, moving forward. Too much of that. Okay, effects of integrating spiritual care practice to nursing: improves mental health outcomes, reduces anxiety and depression, and it enhances nurses' sense of purpose and fulfillment. Remember, spirituality in this context, general term, sense of purpose and fulfillment. You need to find joy in your work. Okay? You need to find joy. There's joy. If not, burnout is coming, and you start questioning your faith in God as well. Okay? So go back to that. Your refuge. God. So it deepens their sense of purpose. Okay? Okay. So how do we integrate spirituality in our self-care routine? One thing is this: we need to create a space for personal reflection and growth. Another, we need to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and find meaning in our work as we carry on with our spirituality. So, how do you do that? Set aside. This is very important for you. When you've been doing this one, just like what I said, this was a presentation which is related to our research that was put on hold because of COVID. Okay, connection with nature is very important. And third is debrief. Okay, debrief can be done individually and as a group. So, called Lavender, just like what I said. And that includes gratitude huddles. And probably you've seen that in United States during COVID. Okay? Okay, so what are the scriptural basis for debriefing? First thing, God debriefed Adam and Eve with an open question. Where are you? No? In the book of Genesis, where are you? Come. No, that relationship with God. This was what? If you can help me recall, Genesis chapter 3, what was happening during that time?
The fall of man.
The fall of man, right?
Yes.
And God said, where are you? Remember, when we face challenging situations and we don't debrief, what happens? Going back from the scripture, it affected them, right? They ran away from God. They started putting what? Leaf to cover themselves. Now, David expressed openness to God with his thoughts and emotions. Psalms 13. What is that? Psalms 13. Can we go through that? That's a simple, that's a very short passage of the scripture. Okay, let me read that to you. Psalms 13. How long, Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts, and day after day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me? Okay, remember, this is the feeling now. This is the lamentations. Okay, so he had a hard time during the time. He was pursued by his enemies. Okay. Verse 3. Look at me and answer, Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep in death. And my enemy will say, I have overcome him, and my foes will rejoice when I fall. Verse 5. But I trust in your unfailing love, and my heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing the Lord's praise, for he has been good to me. Okay, look at that. From what? If you will utilize your parasympathetic nervous system, from the limbic system to what? The prefrontal cortex. What is the last part in that? I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing the Lord's praise, for he has been good to me. So it's okay to express your emotion to God. That is a type of debrief. And even prayer is a type of debrief. Okay? So look at that. So, look at this. For us, at times, we are too embarrassed to have this kind of vulnerability with God for fear of judgment from God and other believers. But God has big shoulders, and he is compassionate, and he listens and cares for us. So debriefing is part of our faith. As Christians, it has been there. Okay? But any thoughts or any Any light bulb? Okay, let me move forward. So what are the benefits of debriefing? One, it grows us into a deeper relationship with God. Say to the Lord, Lord, I'm having a hard time right now. You know, when you're affected with your patients, there is a patient that I had this so-called transference issues. And the thing is, I cannot open that to the patient because it will be detrimental. But the thing is, I can go to my colleague who can debrief me, and also we can pray together. And we can lift it up to God. That these are the issues that I'm facing with. You know, if there's anything that I can do, but actually there's an issue at my back. You know, I'm having, my mother is sick, and I saw this sick patient as well who's with a similar diagnosis, and you would see the symptoms. And I'm there providing supportive counseling, spiritual counseling to this patient. So it was so difficult for me. But one thing is, it's good that I have someone who would debrief me with my own challenges. Okay? So, and also it's like going back to our relationship with God. You can tell it to God, like David, what he said is, God, until when? Until when? So it's okay. Remember, God said, I don't call you servants. I call you friends. The relationship there. You know, I am your friend. Come on. That's it. Probably in Canada, it's like, or probably to us, let's have a coffee break.
Mm-hmm.
I will listen to you. You know, most of the time God is silent, right? Okay? Because He listens. Wow. And you would just sense His presence, and you would just say, I am here for you. So, prefrontal cortex, what is in our prefrontal cortex again? The imago Dei. It's a reminder. Okay, so when we go through with our debriefing, you know, our pause, then we are reminded of our imago Dei, the peace that passes all understanding that comes from God. So when God created all people, there is that image of God. Okay, so you yourself, as nurses, you become the living human document. Okay, you are the living human document that, with your good practice, as inspired by your faith, you become the presence of God, who is the little Christ, who would tell them that there's that peace that passes all understanding, because you can actively listen, you can debrief. So they call this one as the incarnational ministry. Okay, you are the Emmanuel. Remember, Jesus Christ didn't impose His faith, but people were changed because of His presence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you touch, okay, and part of that is debrief. Okay, so let's. I'm like a pastor now. Okay, like preaching. Like I would invite you, please come to the altar. Okay, going back. Okay, it allows us to understand ourselves better in the light of the gospel. It strengthens us to share our stories with our community of faith. So remember, as a psychotherapist, narrative therapy is very important. Okay. And to you as nurses, you listen to their history. And you will see that when you listen to the stories of people, they find strength in that. Okay? So, they're good storytellers. They're telling this, all of this. But if you practice that active listening, they will see strength there. And they will find God working in their story. So God is there doing His work. Okay? So God invited you to work with them as they go through their challenges. Okay? Another, it provides opportunity to grow. It moves us closer to forgiveness and reconciliation with others. It helps model processing for our children or / colleagues or patients. Okay. 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 So over there, yeah, how with all the theory, with all the grounding right now, how is it at Unity Health that we were able to work on with the code Lavender? So code Lavender is our compassionate response to our colleagues, acknowledging their worth and significant contribution and sacrifices to our patients and to folks in the community. So this all happened during COVID. It was like during COVID, what happened, we were all anxious.
Mm-hmm.
So our hospital was turned into a COVID hospital. And like, you know, a lot of restrictions. But it came to a point that, you know, we have to stop all the surgery to accommodate COVID patients. Then later on, we all got COVID. The story in Canada may not be similar to you, but all of us healthcare workers, we all became COVID. So like for me, I'm part of those. I got my COVID, I got my shit. I think I got it 3 times now, 3 times with COVID. So the first wave, we were kind of okay in Canada, just like everybody, the PCR test was just okay. Second wave, still okay. Third wave, you don't have any PCR tests now, everyone else got COVID, But one thing is, this was our response to our colleagues during that time, okay? So how are we to poster the code Lavender or the Debrief? So, okay. So, the code Lavender, in as much that we usually get our funding from our research as well as with the mission and values department of our hospital, we have to prove that we're effective. So this was the research. It was put on hold because of COVID as well. It's not a priority during that time. So I presented another research yesterday. This was that research that I presented yesterday is to be published in an academic journal. And this one is just put on hold. It was just put on hold because of COVID. But we're hoping to revive this in as much that COVID is over. So the measure. So we reached 1,270 staff across sites. We have 10,000 staff. And we supported staff through difficult situations, COVID-related stresses, sudden loss of staff, code white situations. So if you have code white in your hospital, code white is angry patients. Code blue, we're familiar with code blue, yeah. Respiratory and all of those. We boost morale, affirmation of resilience, and promote camaraderie. So we have 3 sites at St. Michael, Unity Health Toronto, St. Joseph Healthcare Center, St. Michael's Hospital, and Providence Healthcare Center. And this was the feedback, anecdotal. Okay, the feedback of our staff. Okay, and these were the results, because like we sent out a questionnaire. Again, for those of you who are in research, we have to do this one to kind of like prove that what we did is effective. So, Code Lavender helped me relieve staff stress and reframe the work of environment in a positive light. That has been uplifting, support, and this is the word cloud, that came out from the questionnaire that we sent out. Okay. Yeah, so what are the effects? Basing it from our questionnaire again. So, 70% encouraged, 23% appreciated, camaraderie, 12%, empathy, 1%, grateful, 21%, inspired, 12%. 12% is joy, others is 2%. So these were the emotions that came out and the result of that debrief. Okay, this was taken 2020 to 2022. So we have to gather all the data. Okay. Am I boring you so far? Okay, so we're trying to find the evidence base of what we're doing. Okay, so Code Lavender is the result. This is the result of the Code Lavender. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is the pilot project of the Code Lavender team. Okay, so this was the unit that I was working with. This is in orthopedics. Okay, so we started it there. So this is my colleague Perry. So these are the nurses, and that's me. Okay, so that is the Code Lavender cart. Okay, so what is in the Code Lavender cart? The Code Lavender cart is a coffee thermos, or if not water. Okay, or tea for tea time. Okay, the affirmations there, post-it note. The prayer show is there. The prayer labyrinth is there. The EAP, Employment Assistance Program. But the goal of this is come, let's talk. Okay, let's debrief. So that is the methodology of that. And Code Lavender, it's lavender. Okay, remember the lavender, the effect, it's soothe. Okay, so that's part of the pause. Okay, So, yeah. Questions? Clarification?
Is that is it in your policy, in the nursing policy to have that practice?
This one?
Yeah,
Yes.
the Lavender code,
Yeah.
and they can come there anytime?
Well, one thing is this should be requested by, the manager. We have to work with the manager and educator. Because like if there's something that happened in the hospital, like say code blue, they're having a hard time as well, or someone died, or say code white. This patient had a lot of issues. They would call us.
So it's not it cannot be requested by a nurse?
It can be requested as well, one-on-one. They can call. Okay, so we have, what do you call this one? The main number. Okay, you need to guess.
How many carts do you have?
We only have one card.
in the hospital?
But for 3 sites, we have
One
3 cards
each.
there.
One
Yeah.
each.
Yeah. Yeah. So we take turns. At St. Michael's, there are 9 full-time spiritual care practitioners. Okay, so every unit. When I was doing this, when we were piloting this one, I was with Trauma Neuro, the Trauma Neuro program. From the emergency day, the trauma ICU to the regular trauma ward, because St. Michael's is a major trauma hospital. Yeah.
Follow-up question.
Are you are you a nurse in the ICU and yet you
No.
are,
I'm a spiritual care practitioner.
okay, so that means you are here for
Outside
you to
the
do
clinic.
this?
Yes, this is our main work. But nurses, there's a unit wherein it's a team of interdisciplinary professionals work. So social worker, the nurse educator, and the spiritual care practitioner as a team carrying this out. Okay? So they work as a team in facilitating this one.
And you have a 24/7 coverage?
Yeah, we did. Yes.
Very
Yes.
nice.
Just a question. What if there were 2 units that had a need for your lavender card? How do you prioritize?
Now, one thing is this, okay? This one is a little bit, for you to be calmer. But for those units, if the acuity is high,
Yeah.
then I will just carry on with the debrief. Okay? The basic debrief. Okay? Yeah. So I have to be there with the debrief.
Do you
Yes.
do it one-on-one or in a group?
Okay, that's what I'm going to present. Okay? This debrief can be done one-on-one or as a group. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'll move on forward. Okay. Okay, that is the one. That is the question. So yeah. Very good. Okay, so what is the technically that called lavender? The card is a means. Okay, it's just one of the means, one of the creativity for us to bring it there. Okay, it's just like the code blue card. Isn't it the code blue card? You would see that, okay, if there's a code blue, there's a card that will come in here. Yeah. Now, there's an issue there. People are having a hard time, or staff are having a hard time. Here comes the code lavender. We'll meet at the staff lounge, or if not, at the nursing station. Okay, let's take a moment to pause. Say from 10 minutes, or if not, there was a time that it would be like an hour. It depends, on the acuity of the unit. Okay, yeah. Okay, so suggested technique in code lavender facilitation. So the card is the means, but the main heart of the code lavender is the debrief. So how are you going to work on with that? Now, one is the focused conversation. It's ORID. ORID stands for observation, reflection, interpretation, and decision. Okay? Yeah. But there is another one that I'll be sharing it to you. This is NOVA, National Organization for Victim Assistance Crisis Intervention Model. So, in as much that how many minutes?
Oh, I'll let you
Huh?
continue.
Okay. Okay. I'm just being cognizant of the time. Okay. Yeah. But anyways, I'll be giving it to you like a cheat sheet, okay, or tip sheet. A tip sheet so that you can carry on, okay, as you provide debriefing in where you are, okay. Okay. Focus conversations, okay. You talk to your colleagues. Okay, in as much that you don't have a professional spiritual care practitioner, you as nurses are spiritual care generalists. Spiritual care practitioners who are trained on this are specialists according to a certain study. Okay, If you would have 5 patients, how would you be able to listen to all your patients? So that's why there's a spiritual care practitioner in other parts of the world. So focused conversations. So first thing is observation, or that's why it's ORID. Reflection, interpretation, decision. So this is your methodology in providing debrief. So observation is what? Reflection, gut. Okay, where are we at this time? What is happening? Where are you? Just like God is telling, where are you? Okay. Where is that anger coming from? Eating the emotion. Interpretation, so what? Decision, now what? Okay? So when you debrief someone using ORID, observation focuses on the what. Reflection focuses on the gut. Interpretation, so what? And decision, now what? Okay? Let's move forward. Are you enjoying it now? Okay. ORID. Okay. ORID, okay, it's focused conversation. This is how we are to debrief, basing it from this. Say for example, you had an issue. Give me an issue, Claire. Kind of like hospital setting or anybody who would want to
For staff.
For staff, okay. Like an issue in the staff that you had a hard time.
Well, it's a short staff. People,
Short staff.
Yeah,
Okay,
short.
short staff.
They're-
Okay. Sorry for that.
Instead of 3, there's only 1. And now what you do, the nurse is refusing. They're going home. She wants to go home.
Okay. And now, okay.
Well, how do you
Okay.
adjust to this?
Let's try. Okay.
The fact.
Objective, the fact. See, hear, taste, feel, and smell. What is the fact?
There's nobody working in
Okay. There's
Just
nobody
by yourself.
working. Okay. What are your emotions? Say you're the manager here. Okay. What are your emotions?
Anxiety?
Anxiety. What else?
Where you gonna get them?
Okay. So I'm listening now. You're having a hard time as a manager. Okay. What else? This is part of supportive counseling, right? Emotions. Memories that rise to the surface. Say,
Angry patients who didn't get help.
okay, angry patients.
Yeah.
No, and you have that heart, really as a nurse, right? Okay, so interpretive.
Are you dealing with the nurse who is just by herself and then a
Okay,
manager
I'm-
looking for people
Okay.
to staff the unit?
No, that's more of an administrative way, but I'm dealing on your emotion right now. Okay, so
And the manager or
Yeah, as a
just,
manager.
RN?
that's the manager right now, just
Okay.
like short
Okay,
staff,
alright,
right?
yes.
Okay. Okay, so this is the case. She's the manager. Short staff.
Hmm.
What is the feeling there? Helpless. What else?
Anxious.
Frustrated, right? Okay. So now I am what? Providing that debrief, okay? I'm not going to provide any solution there, okay? Debrief, the emotions, psychosocial, spiritual, debrief. The connection. You're frustrated, right? Just angry. Your debrief, what is this one? Decompressing. This is part of the decompressing. Make conscious connection, thoughts, and ideas form. Still going back to the frustrated nurse manager. She already expressed her emotion.
Listen to her.
We already did it. But now encourage her to what? Remember? Let me go back to this.
We're waiting for Buddha.
So,
Okay. So what?
so what now?
So what? Okay. Okay, so what are you going to do now? So remember the part of control now. What can you do? Because like she's so frustrated. So what? What can we work on right now? Okay?
Now what is it?
Okay, you close the unit by going to helpful. Okay, that's just an example, okay? That's just an example. But let's do something later, okay? That is more, he said, it's like I'm frustrated. I cannot get someone.
Yeah, there's nobody.
No.
And this is like the
Yeah.
evening shift, from the day shift, the evening person.
Yeah, that will be tough, okay? Okay, now, we're focusing on the emotion of the manager. So when we're focusing on that emotion, we are de-escalating. So what can we work on right now? Okay, what are the other resources? Probably from other units. We can get someone, we can fill in, or we'll just do what we can. The nurse, the manager will also be a nurse during that time.
She's staying there to be.
Okay, so that will be now what? Okay, an example of that. But later, let's focus on the emotional issues. Okay, say grief, say anger, frustration. Okay, so that has an administrative inclination. Okay. So okay now with ORID. Okay.
Okay.
What? Got. So what? Now what? Okay. Now, I will share to you this method, which is the NOVA crisis intervention method, which is related to ORID. So please get one of this. Okay. You can take some of this. I get from Unity Health Toronto. Okay. So this has been part of my ministry when I was in the Philippines as well. That was like probably 10 years or 20 years when I was doing some psychological first aid. In the Philippines, there were a lot of typhoons, as well as in Southeast Asia, like the tsunami before. So you would hear Code Orange, kind of like a Code Orange. So there were a lot of people who died in somewhere in the southern part of the Philippines and also in Indonesia. Leyte, like that. So this is similar to a psychological first aid wherein you gather people. Okay, so you gather people and go through debriefing. Okay, so first, one thing, the question of Sylvia, you can use this one with one-on-one person. Okay, with a person, and you just go through the cheat sheet over here. Okay, so the principles are ORID. But this one has those questions, okay? So one-on-one and as a group, you are the facilitator for debrief, okay? This is like a 3-day training that we just share to you the principle with certification. Okay, first thing, what are the parts of this, the basic model? Okay, the basic model has 3 points. Safety and security of the person whom you are going to debrief. Second, when you start having a conversation or having a focused conversation is validation and ventilation. You validate their emotions, okay, and allow them, give them space to express their emotions without any judgment, okay, whatever be it, because you're there to support. Then the third part is prediction and presentation. What will happen to the future? This is what? Now what? Okay? So safety and security. Okay, we'll go through it. So let's go to the first part, safety and security. So 3 parts of the NOVA model is what? Safety and security, validation and ventilation. Third part, prediction and presentation. Okay? So this is storytelling. Okay? Allow them to tell their story, to share their story. A lot of active listening on your part. Okay? So let's go to safety and security. Okay? First part, you would say,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay? You can use that to some culture, that may not be. Okay? What is something that, what are phrases that you would connect with a person. You know?
Excuse me? Sissy?
What do you think when you say excuse me?
I understand how what's going
Okay.
I understand.
Okay, I understand. Or would that be a little bit premature? Because you're still going to listen. Okay? Hi. Okay? Yeah, connection. Even hello. According to certain studies, the hello. You say hello. Or, okay, say, for example, I'm sorry. If you have a team member or you're all by yourself, okay, you introduce yourself, you explain your role. You know, my colleague over there who's wearing the purple shirt, it's the two of us. I'll be the scribe. We would use the whiteboard to name all the emotions. Okay? So, explain the role of the scribe, that the scribe will be writing down the emotions. And everything else that we're going to talk about here is confidential. Okay? So, you establish team credibility, you know who you are, what is your role, and what is your background in providing debrief. Okay? You define ground rules. What is that? Confidentiality. You ask for agreement, and you will tell them that you're going to break confidentiality when? When are you going to?
Danger.
Oh, okay. Very good. You're all nurses, you know. It's like, what if they have societal ideation? Like somebody came in for debrief, societal ideation. You know? Because sometimes they open. You know? What are you going to do?
Reality, set in a reality check.
Yes. We are taught to be what? Direct, right? You have societal ideation. Now, I will break that confidentiality and I have to refer that one. We will work on with that. Okay, let me carry on. So another one is come and go as you please. Come as you go as you please. Okay. Express your reactions. No verbal or physical violence. You are not required to identify yourself or to speak unless you wish to. No note taking or recording. Okay? Because it's confidentiality, okay? Turn off cell phones or pagers. Okay? So others is like, so this is the basic thing, okay? Describe the agenda. What is your agenda? You would tell, we are here to explore how people or families reacted or are reacting and cope in the future. We are not meant to be a critic. Okay? So we're here to debrief. We're not here, we are here to explore how people or families or how you reacted and cope in the future, and it is not meant to be a critic. Okay? You're giving them a space to vent out. Oh, 5 minutes? Okay. Anyways. Okay, so ventilation and validation. Question number 1. Where were you when it happened? Who were with you? What did you see, taste, or touch at the time? What did you do? How did you react at that time? Okay, another question. Since then, what memory stands out in your mind? What happened in the last 48 hours? What do you remember seeing or hearing during that time, and how have you reacted? And third, prediction and preparation. So question number 3, after all you've been through, what do you think will happen in the next few days or weeks? How do you think your family has been or will continue to be affected? Do you have any concerns about what will happen? Okay. Now, you would have a follow-up question. How do you think you will deal with the concerns you have raised? So explore coping strategies. How will they cope so that they will have a sense of control as well, as they were shaking. Now, the last part there is you review the notes, you know, the emotions that was written by the scribe or what you have written, and draw connection with them, and you would say, again, I'm sorry for what had happened. Thank you for attending. It says there, mingle and pray, you know? And you can utilize your prayer here as they do so. Okay? I'm supposed to to practice with everyone, but due to lack of time, please skip this one that you can utilize to debrief your staff, your people. Yes.
I'm just wondering when people are ready to answer these questions, the second ventilation, the validation, where he is asking, what did you see, hear, smell, taste? What are time limits or?
Oh, the limit for this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if this is a group, like say 30 to 45, okay? I've done the 30 to 45. But sometimes there is like they call it huddle. Huddle is just 10 to 15 minutes because they need to go back to their unit. Okay, where are you at this time? But if it's one-on-one and she's given like a time, like 30 minutes for a break, then we utilize that one. Okay, the huddle, group huddle is, okay, I'll give you an example. I still have some time, okay? This is a positive way to debrief. Just like what happened during COVID. Okay, pause, reflection, and share. Okay, huddle, okay, 1, 2, 3. Let me close with a simple debrief, okay? It's a, they call it a hope huddle. It's a type of debrief. Question, okay? I'll demonstrate it. Hello, I'm Joel. I'm a spiritual care practitioner in this unit, and we are about to start our shift. I know it has been so difficult because of COVID, but there are certain things that we need to be grateful for as we carry on with our work. Remember, gratitude, the science of gratitude. So that one. What are we grateful for today? It's huddle, okay? What are you grateful for today?
Safety to come to work.
Safety to come to work.
Fully staffed.
Fully staffed.
Something. Mike doesn't support my coworker.
Support of your coworker.
Life.
Life.
To meet all my colleagues.
To be our colleagues. Okay, awesome. Okay, grateful. What are you grateful for today?
Holidays are coming.
Holidays are coming.
Able to do what I need to do in spite of the challenges.
Wonderful.
I am alive.
I am alive. Wonderful. Do you sense that feeling? How do you feel at this time? Good? Okay. So this will set us to start our work today. Let's pause for a moment of silence. You can close your eyes. Focus on your breathing. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Now as you inhale, thank God for His goodness. Hold. Exhale the negative emotions. Again. Thank God for His goodness. Inhale. Hold. Exhale the anxiety. Let's go through that. Inhale. Exhale. Thank you, Lord, for your love and your goodness. Thank you for the opportunity that we can minister to your people who are in this unit. Amen. Okay, that's a huddle. Okay, a short debrief. The other one is longer. Okay, well, thank you very much. Let's go.
Great. So the paper is going around. If you want a copy of the slides, I will share with you via email. So ensure you write your name as well. Does anyone have any question? Great. I'll also share his email as well with you, so that if anything, you pick it from there. Would you mind if we take a group picture with him?
Yeah.
Sure.
And if you want some copies that you can share,
You have to publish it in Nova.
Yes, it will be done.
Okay.